Hi guys, Cinematic Recapped here. Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm gonna explain an American action, drama, and comedy movie called Barely Lethal. Prescott Academy is a top government-run institution that trains young female orphans to become field operatives. These girls have not experienced love and have been trained to kill since they were 3 years old. They also live without any outside media guidance, and their trainer, Hardman, teaches them not to form attachments as it is considered a weakness for a secret agent. However, Agent 83, the best student who fights and shoots the best among others, finds this rule difficult to follow. As she grows into a teenager with remarkable fighting skills, she competes with Agent 84, whose skills rival hers. Agent 83 is eventually the first in her class to be activated for a secret mission to retrieve a briefcase from a bad guy, which she successfully completes. During another mission, Agent 83 becomes curious about teenage life outside the academy. Therefore, she decides to learn about teen culture through magazines and watches movies like Mean Girls and Beverly Hills. Later, Hardman assigns the orphans to capture Victoria Knox, a notorious American arms dealer. Agent 84 initially volunteers for the mission to prove herself as the best agent, but Hardman chooses Agent 83 instead, despite catching her reading magazines during the briefing. In the following scene, Knox and her henchmen are seen in a construction zone in Chechnya. In an attempt to catch Knox off guard, Agent 83 disguises herself as one of the captives. When her true identity is revealed, she quickly attacks Knox and overpowers all of her henchmen. She then latches herself and Knox onto Hardman's passing jet. Unfortunately, Knox brings a gun with her and shoots Agent 83, forcing her to cut the harness and drop into the river below. Knox is ultimately apprehended and meets Hardman, who notices Agent 83's absence. At the same time, Agent 83 swims to safety and hears Hardman attempting to contact her through the device on her wrist. However, she decides not to respond. Therefore, she throws the device into the water and begins her new life. Back in the jet, Agent 84 informs Hardman that they are not receiving any visuals or audio from Agent 83, leading Hardman to declare her missing and inactive. Soon, Agent 83 creates a new identity and adopts the name Megan, posing as a Canadian student who moves to Newton and lives with the Larson family. Mrs. Larson and her son, Parker, are very friendly towards Megan, but her daughter, Liz, is cold and distant. Over dinner, Megan learns that Mrs. Larson has divorced her husband. She also becomes closer with Parker, who is obsessed with being a ninja. On the other hand, Liz finds it weird that Megan is excited about normal things, such as taking the school bus. After dinner, Megan plans what to wear on her first day of school, but ends up overdressed and becomes the center of attention, leading to mocking by other kids the next day. Seeing this, Liz reluctantly lends her less patterned clothes to wear. During the first assembly, Megan waits for her turn to be introduced as a brand new foreign student. She also becomes acquainted with a geeky kid named Roger, who works on the lighting and design boards. Finally, the time comes for Megan to introduce herself on stage. However, one of the bullies, Gooch, immediately makes fun of her, followed by the crowd. Luckily, the most popular student and band leader named Cash comes to her rescue. He then sings a song for Megan, who is instantly attracted by his charming gaze. In her first class session, Megan meets Roger again and sits beside him. Although Roger appears to be attracted to her, Megan does not reciprocate his feelings. After the session, the teacher announces that tomorrow, the students will have to sit with their designated partners during the lab session. As Megan notices Cash leaving the classroom, Gooch attempts to slap her from behind, but she single-handedly takes him down. Later that night, Megan uses her stealthy skills to infiltrate the lab and alter the seating chart, ensuring that she is paired with Cash. The next morning, Megan confidently takes her seat beside Cash, only to be confronted by Cindy and Donna, who also have feelings for him. Unfortunately, the teacher assigns Cash as his lab assistant. After the lab session, Cindy and Donna trick Megan into thinking that Cash likes girls who play the school mascot. Determined to win his affection, Megan practices hard and auditions for the mascot position, becoming the only participant and winning the spot. On the day of the competition, Megan wears a Viking costume and cheers for the school. However, during the ceremony, some masked men run towards her, attempting to kidnap her. Believing they are agents sent by Hardman, Megan easily overpowers them, but soon discovers that they are students from a rival high school trying to kidnap Newton's mascot as a tradition. Embarrassed by the realization that she was fooled by Cindy and Donna, Megan rushes out. Roger chases after her and tries to console her, but to no avail. The following day, Megan becomes popular overnight after the video of her actions goes viral. At school, everyone cheers for her, including Cash, who invites her to a jamming session after school. When she arrives there, she meets Roger, and they have a brief conversation until Cash arrives. As Megan chats with Cash, she realizes that she does not really fit in with him, but she still accepts his invitation to Gooch's party over the weekend. On her way home, Megan is apprehended by a Prescott agent and brought to Hardman. He assumes that she is working with their enemies, but she reveals that she only wanted to enjoy normal life outside the academy. Hearing this, Hardman decides to let her go with a warning. She needs to bid her farewell to Newton and comes back to Prescott as Agent 83. Following this, she is dumped on the front porch of Larson's house by Hardman's men, before Liz and Parker can rescue her. When Megan sees Roger the next morning, she invites him to Gooch's party, but he refuses due to his overprotective father. Before heading the party, Mrs. Larson asks Liz to accompany Megan to ensure her safety. The two finally arrive at the house party, where Megan is surprised to see Agent 84 is also at the party, calling herself Heather. Megan quickly confronts her and assumes that Hardman sent Heather to shadow her, but Heather denies this. Meanwhile, Liz enters a bathroom and meets a drunken Gooch. She eventually gets drunk and begins to bond with him as well. Heather, knowing Megan's attraction to Cash, tries to seduce him to irritate her, but Megan eventually wins Cash's attention and is asked to the homecoming dance. At one point, Roger arrives at the party looking for Megan, but he is disappointed to see her kissing Cash. The following morning, Megan boards a school bus to find that Hardman is disguised as the driver. He warns her that Knox has escaped from the academy and plans to take revenge on her, but Megan insists on not going back to Prescott. Afterwards, Liz drives Megan to school, but they are pursued by a masked assassin. Megan quickly takes over the wheel and inevitably reveals her secret to Liz. They eventually crash in a junkyard, and the assassin manages to escape. Luckily, Liz survives the accident and is hospitalized. After Liz wakes up, Megan apologizes for lying and putting her in danger. She wants to leave the Larsons before many people get hurt because of her. However, Liz does not want her to leave, saying that abandoning her family would be even worse for them. Since then, the two become closer and get each other ready for the special night. They are picked up by their dates for the homecoming dance. Upon arrival, Liz dances with Gooch, while Megan hangs out with Cash. However, she becomes bored by Cash because he hardly talks to her. Therefore, she dumps him and decides to make amends with Roger, but to her surprise, he declines her. At the same time, Heather suddenly comes and reveals herself as Roger's date, provoking a fight between her and Megan. They end up in a kitchen where Heather reveals that she joined Knox's operation in order to get a chance to kill Megan. Thankfully, Liz manages to sneak up on Heather and stabs her in the leg. They rush back home after leaving Heather, and Megan takes down the guards. She then discovers that Knox and her henchmen have taken Mrs. Larson and Parker as hostages. Knox reveals that she used to be Prescott Agent 1, but she left and turned against them for robbing her of her life. Shortly after that, one of her henchmen brings Liz as a hostage, leaving Megan feeling helpless. Megan surrenders and drops her gun, but then challenges Knox to a fair fight, which Megan easily wins. Fortunately, Parker throws a flashbang, giving Hardman time to rush in with reinforcements. They skillfully subdue Knox and her henchmen. Megan hugs Hardman and thanks him for the help. Hardman finally allows her to live with the Larsons and recruits her back to Prescott as a deep cover agent. After that, Megan uses a Prescott helicopter to stop Roger, who is driving home with his father. She then tells Roger her true feelings for him, and the two finally kiss before joining Liz and Gooch in the helicopter. In a mid-credits scene, Heather meets with a former henchman of Knox and orders him to find out where Megan will be attending college. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.